favorite game show. It's kind of getting old. It's like, this is part 7. They're their 7th day in a row doing this thing. I love them. The NFL never sleeps. Neither way.
It's so true.
NFL true or false and K. Why that is. Chiefs can start slow again and still make the playoffs, just like they did last year.
Want me to go first?
Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to say this is true. And I pulled up real
Wow.
quick the Chiefs' schedule. The Chiefs have an absolute brutal first half schedule. They play in Arizona, they play in Indianapolis, in Tampa Bay, home against Buffalo, and at San Francisco. I would expect that gauntlet to not produce an 8-0 record by any means going into their bye. But their second half schedule is incredibly light. They end the season with Denver twice, Houston, Seattle, and Las Vegas. And so those last 7 games, they can actually sweep them. So to your point, can they start slow? Sure. If they get through that first half gauntlet and they get to their bye above 500, this team can win 11 or 12 games. So absolutely they can.
You convinced me because I'll be honest, I did not look at the first half of the schedule. But because Sammy is such a good researcher, I cannot let that go. I was going to say because the division is tougher, but you're right, though. The Colts had a problem last year with a tough start, and they had to, figure that out. So I'm with you now. That's definitely a thing. If you're playing all those gauntlets in the first half of the season, it's okay if you're like 4-4.
Yeah, especially when you get to play Seattle and Houston towards the end. Those are pretty sure wins for Kansas City's team, in this way. And here's the thing: the narrative for Kansas City is going to be negative for the first half of the season because everybody's going to talk about how they lost Tyreek Hill and they're struggling early on. Their offense isn't scoring, and probably forgetting the fact they're just playing the most elite teams in the NFL the first half. And so this is a situation where if you're a betting person, betting Kansas City to win the Super Bowl second half will give you great odds, in my opinion. Better than you'll get preseason.
That Simi said it first. Eat it and like it. I like what Patrick Mahomes said. He said everybody in the offense is going to be involved. I think Mecole Hardman, people are sleeping, man. People are sleeping on that dude. They have the other guy that what was it, Jarrett McKinnon, who came on last year real well. Chiefs are going to be no slouches. If they're 500 or better for the first 8 games, but they're still not like the best, bet them.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They still have who? Patrick Mahomes.
Kelsey.
And
Kelsey. Travis Kelsey.
That's a good point, too. The Buccaneers will be the best NFC team in the regular season. I'm going to say false because Matthew Stafford and the Rams exist. Now, this could be true. Actually, I lied. I don't even know why I said that. I'm wishy-washy this morning. So, it's true because of the divisions they play in. The Buccaneers play against the Saints. We have no idea if they're going to – we know they're going to be good defensively, but what else we don't know. The Falcons, who are awful on paper. The Panthers, who don't know if they want to start Sam Darnold or Matt Corral, which I'm okay with either one, I guess, at this point. And then the Rams have to deal with the bloodbath that is the NFC West, and Seattle still knows them pretty well. I think it's true. I think NFC East will be a shot of itself once again. It'll probably be a 9-8 team wins that division. NFC North, Packers going to be worse. I think Buccaneers might win this NFC regular season pretty easily.
I think, again, based on the points you made in the second half of your argument, I think it's true. The division the Bucs play in is probably the worst in football. And, if anything less, in my opinion, than going, 6-0 against those teams probably would be a failed experiment for this team. This Bucs team is very talented. With that being said, they finished, I want to say, either with the best record or tied or one game back of the Packers last year, but they lost a tiebreaker. And so they were already towards the top as one of the best teams in the league last year. And I see no reason for them not to steamroll their schedule this year. Again, they'll play some tough games, but 12 wins is clearly on the table. And 12-5 is probably going to be good enough to be the best team in the NFC.
Leonard Fournette was a huge re-signing for them. I've actually FaceTimed Leonard Fournette. He has yet to fulfill his promise of coming on the show. But Leonard Fournette was a big re-signing for them. He will be, once again, the bell cow. Tom Brady will have. He can also catch the balls out of the backfield. That's going to be huge for them because he's a tough guy.
I think they also need to probably re-sign Gronk. Those safety blankets for Brady are important for him.
Yep.
Brady's a guy who will throw the ball if he knows where you're going to be, and new guys and him haven't always meshed well. That's why he's people say he's a system quarterback, but at the same time he creates the system because he's the one who tells people where he wants them to be to throw the ball. And so I think Brady will have another big year. He should have won MVP in my opinion last year. I think he finished second. He'll have another big year at the ageless wonder who I've been saying for years is a vampire. But he will have another good year, and they will probably be the best team in the NFC.
There's a little bit of fangs growing, I see. Cowboys are still the best NFC East team. I say false because I've heard a lot of how about Golden Tate goes on one of the NFL network shows and it says he believes the Bills will let Daniel Jones loose. And according to Golden Tate, who played with Matthew Stafford, who is now a champion in the NFL, Golden Tate said Daniel Jones can make every throw and needs to be let loose this year. I think like you said, the Commanders, people don't understand the Commanders last year, their defense was supposed to be good. It should be good this year again. The Eagles got better. Cowboys, man, they have Dak Prescott, but that's about it.
I mean, the East has been the division of mediocrity for a good 10 years. I mean, teams win this division with nine wins sometimes. I mean, it's usually not a very big blowout division. These teams play each other really tough intra-division, and they don't do well outside of their division. So the Cowboys may end up being the best team in the NFC East, but it won't be by much if they are. I do think that the Giants will finish last, and they can let Daniel Jones loose, and then they let Daniel Jones go because he won't be their quarterback next year. But I don't know, man. The Commanders can win eight games. Philadelphia can win 9 games. Cowboys can win 10 games. I mean, I don't see any of them getting above more than 10 wins anyway. So I think it'll be a good race down to the end. I don't think the Cowboys are far ahead the best team, and I like the Eagles. I think the Eagles have a good young crew, and I like to see them take the next step forward. Jalen Hurts is. He's got to prove to be a winning quarterback, not just a stat filler. And they have a good young team though. I think they could definitely make some noise in the East this year.
I also think Nick Sirianni still deserves public apologies from all the Philadelphia reporters. Well, when we heard that man's first press conference, he's such an inept, blah blah blah. I'm like, guys, this dude was fantastic last year for that team. No one had them making the playoffs. No one.
True.
Nick Sirianni was fantastic.
Yep, this is the type of team I think can take a big step forward this year. But even like I said, with that said, they're only going to win their division by a game or two. It'll always be tough to get past that division. And, they can make the playoffs as a wild card. The plenty teams do. And so that's going to be a good division to watch all year.
Fair enough. NFL should follow MLB's model of suspending Trevor Bauer for 2 years, suspend Deshaun Watson for a long time.
So these cases are incredibly different.
Yes.
Trevor Bauer, whether agreed upon or not with the ladies he was with.
Did he beat the living hell out of somebody?
Yeah, he beat the lady up, and she ended up in the hospital. And anything that affects the Shield is gonna reflect negatively on any of these players. But if you have picture video evidence of abuse, it makes it so much easier to say this player is a bad person. He doesn't.
Schmuck,
he violates our personal conduct policy. We don't want him anywhere near our team. What Deshaun Watson did was mostly disgusting. It wasn't. He didn't rape the girls, and there's no. Support.
I agree.
There's no criminal activity here, at least not yet. And so what we're really talking about is kind of gross and not kindness. And I feel like if you're suspending a guy for 2 years over that, or even a year over that, you've taken it a bit too far. Do I think he should be suspended? Yeah, I think he did violate the NFL's personal conduct policy. I don't think he acted in such a way where the NFL should be proud of him and what he's done. But 2 years is a long time to go, man. And I hate to see those kinds of things happen because, I don't condone anything he did, but at the same time, we have a justice system for that. That's what that justice system is there for. It shouldn't be about taking away a person's ability to go have a career, for their whole career. Clearly
For
suspend him,
personal
clearly give him,
conduct
yeah,
policies.
clearly get him in trouble. Like, I'm not saying he shouldn't be, but yeah, 2 years is a long time.
It makes me angry that this has been synonymous with each other. I brought this question up because so many reporters, so many writers have oh, this should be following the MLB. No. He beat the living crap out of a female. That's a problem. It's different when you go to sex parlors and get accused of having sex. Okay? That's what this boils down to. I don't care what anybody says. There's no way 66 people did not know after about 10 of them that this was happening. The Texans paid for some of the hotel rooms, man.
Not only
It's
that, but a
not
lot of the
synonymous.
girls, there are some girls who said they would never do business with him again, and kudos to those girls for standing up for what they believe. But many of the girls tried to book follow-up appointments with him and are now suing him, saying he made them feel uncomfortable. I
Bingo.
mean, I, I can't speak to. I'm not ever here to victim shame. If he
I
acted
know.
in such a way where he was inappropriate, he should be reprimanded for that. But at the same time, if you're a female and you don't like the way you're being treated by somebody, don't book a follow-up appointment. Don't try to get the guy's money again. Like, what happened the first time, right? So, report it, do what you have to do, get paid. But yeah, I mean, so the girls who did book follow-up appointments with him and try to get him back on their table really ruined this for the girls who genuinely felt violated, felt disgusted
Bingo.
by what he did. And like I said, some punishment should come. I think 4 or 5 games is what most people think it should fall in the range of. And that's probably pretty fair. I mean, that's a bunch of money he's going to lose for acting a fool. And let's move forward. If he did something worse than that, let's get the legal system involved and put him behind bars. I'm all for that. I have no tolerance for treating women badly, but this
Right.
situation to me has been kind of a messy one overall. Falls
If
more on the
I'm
line of grossness than it does, criminal.
and for fact checking, I'm saying if I'm not mistaken, I believe they've already passed the criminal part of it. Like it's only civil now, but there
Yeah,
is no
so
criminal part of it.
they declined to press charges, at least the first X amount of women.
There
Uh,
you go.
but I think more women have come forward, and they're trying now to reopen up that case or give it a new stature. I don't know the legalities of it, but as far as I know, Deshaun Watson is under no legal peril whatsoever.
Right.
Instead, it is a civil case where it sounds like a lot of these women are trying to get paid. Some of them are jumping on the bandwagon who
It's sad.
previously had said they didn't have any problems. And I'm not trying to paint Deshaun Watson here as a victim. He's not. He did disgusting things,
Agreed.
inappropriate things. But there's a system in place for that. Let's get that taken care of and let's move forward. This suspending for 2 years, I think, is just a gross overstep by the MLB and the NFL. If they did something wrong, get them in trouble, no problem. But that shouldn't prevent you from being able to make a living.